Find your why. Get involved today for a better us.
Hey guys, I'm Anna Christina. Coming up this Friday on The Dish, Goodnight Lizzie's going to be performing. Plus, we're in the kitchen with Caroline and Profile. We're going to be hooking you up with some healthy recipes Friday at 12:30.
A car wreck can change your life in an instant, and what you do after that can affect your life for years to come.
After a car wreck, you need help. Call George St. Injury Lawyers at all nines. We have the experience to help you get the money that you deserve.
Entertainment Tonight, weeknights at 7:30 on News Channel 6. The live 5/6 Skyview Network, sponsored by Terry Lambert Hyundai.
What a beauty today with dew points in the 50s. Yay, we'll take that for August. How long will that continue? Not much longer. Details of a very hot forecast headed our way in just a few minutes.
Now on News Channel 6 at 4, community reaction after a local shooting at a school. We'll hear from Augusta's mayor. Plus, cyber-related missions at Fort Gordon, what military officers have to say. And we are taking a look at the 70 years of local news for WJBF News Channel 6. It's your hometown history, as your News at 4 starts now.
Live from Television Park, this is WJBF News Channel 6 at 4.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jenny Montgomery. Thank you for joining us today. Coverage you can count on begins with a bomb threat at the East Aiken School of the Arts. It scared hundreds of families this morning. The good news is the students are all safe. According to the school's website, someone texted a bomb threat using a hotline and threatened to kill himself at the school's parking lot. The school was immediately put on lockdown until just after noon. Parents were able to reunite with their children. No teacher nor student was harmed. A father we spoke with says the whole thing was just terrifying. The person who made the threat has not been identified. It's unclear if the school will open again tomorrow. We will continue to follow this story later in this evening's broadcasts. A shooting at T.W. Josie High School in Augusta Wednesday morning is the latest incident of violence in Richmond County schools. Tiffany Hobbs tells us what people are planning to do.
City officials and members of the community tell us about their growing concerns for young people and how they aim to help.
The cafeteria fight between two students ended with one student shot in the finger. News Channel 6 learned the 16-year-old suspect turned himself in Thursday. As instances of violence continue in local schools, parents, along with city and state leaders, say things need to change soon. Senator Harold Jones tells us he's urging students to treat each other better and for parents to get more involved.
Now, how can the state get involved? Anything that we can do to help with financial issues as far as security is concerned, we need to make sure that we'll step up to the plate and make sure that actually happens. Because security is paramount. Our community cannot grow if we don't have an education system that's also growing and thriving. So we want to make sure that security is taken care of.
Josie High School, Murphy Middle School, and the Marion E. Barnes Career Center will be closed through Friday. In Augusta, I'm Tiffany Hobbs, WJBF News Channel 6.
Tomorrow night, additional officers from the Sheriff's Department will be at the Burke County High School for the football game against Thompson. The Sheriff's Office says it's out of precaution due to 4 separate incidents of fighting at Burke County High School since the new year started. All are gang-related. 9 people have been charged, but not everyone is in custody. Additional charges are expected. This season's first Game Night Live comes on tonight at 7:30 on MeTV. But how will the weather be for the big matchup? Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Tim Miller.
Jenny, it's good. That's Jenny.
All right, Tim, thank you. We are working to learn more details after search warrants were executed at 6 massage parlors in North Augusta. SLED announced a joint operation with Homeland Security and Immigration took place Wednesday afternoon. Details are limited on the operation, including the exact location of the massage parlors, but News Channel 6 saw authorities at the Flower Europe Massage on Georgia Avenue. One man we spoke with says it's surprising.
I'm surprised that there's the number of people that you say were in and out of that place. It has to be something more than hanky-panky going on. That's all.
Once we find out more, we will pass it along to you. A Columbia County woman's murder remains unsolved 5 years later. It's this month's cold case project. Andrea DeGelder went missing in July of 2018. Days later, her body was found in a Columbia County dumpster. The sheriff's office conducted a welfare check around that time and discovered her home in the Ivy Falls subdivision had a bloody struggle. Investigators took evidence from the home and a neighbor's home, arresting and charging neighbor Christopher Gibson from another case. He's not been charged in DeGelder's murder and remains a person of interest while serving life in prison.
If they can't prove that he is, I want to know why. If he's not the guy, or if he is the guy, I want to know.
Don't give a false sense of safety to the community when you don't know.
Yeah.
We'll have the full cold case project tonight at 5 o'clock on WJBF News Channel 6. A year and a half after the job became open, Augusta is now ready to search for a permanent city administrator. Commissioners approving a $31,000 deal. Augusta will see a new Kroger next spring, but for those in the area, this new grocery store will bridge many different gaps. Thursday morning, corporation partners and local officials walked through the construction site for the new grocery store. Senator Harold Jones was one of those among the group. He said he's glad to be a part of this new project and all of the resources. People who live on or near Jimmy Dias Parkway won't have to drive too far for groceries, and nonprofit organizations in the CSRA have a new partner to help reduce food insecurity.
So you have both things that are actually happening. That's great. So you have a store that people can come shop at. We love that. But you also have a corporation that wants to be involved in the community and deal with various issues, including food insecurity. We're ecstatic to have them here.
Kroger also donated checks to Augusta Dream Center and Augusta Riverkeeper. Opening for the grocery store is set for spring of 2024. Augusta's fire department is getting some big help from the federal government. The fire department will get an additional $788,000 in funding through the Federal Assistance to Firefighters grant. The department will use that money for cancer screenings for firefighters and to buy and install chest compression systems on some vehicles to help with CPR cases. Twin City in Emmanuel County is also getting $428,000, which will be used to buy a new fire truck. It is the fourth and final day of Augusta's TechNet conference. Today, leaders from across the country and from the U.S. Army Cyber Center of Excellence at Fort Gordon held a panel discussion about what they've been working on. Hannah Latier joins us now with more in today's Cyber Insider.
Those at the discussion had the chance to ask military leaders questions about the Cyber Center's progress, initiatives, goals, and more. The Cyber Center of Excellence trains and educates signal, cyber, and electronic warfare professionals. Some topics covered include how they're trying to further cybersecurity and artificial intelligence education.
Solutions need to be intuitive. We're growing generations of folks that know how to use electronic devices. They should have the same look and feel on the devices that we provide in order to conduct combat operations.
And some of this education began this year in the K-12 curriculum at Columbia County schools.
Most of our younger kids have iPhones or Androids, but do they understand how they work? Those type of educational opportunities help create for us a greater opportunity later down the road in a long-term investment in a workforce that understands those emerging technologies that we need them to.
The TechNet conference is a way for the Cyber Center to showcase what it does, while also gaining support from community partners.
The fact is the military can't do it by itself, the government can't do it by itself. It has to be a cooperation between the education forums, the industry, and the government together.
Panelists remember what Fort Gordon was like before the Cyber Center.
25 years ago, starting out here in sleepy Fort Gordon as a signal soldier. I've come back over the years for iterative training, and I've seen it really grow from what it was into to this, vibrant, soon-to-be Fort Eisenhower that we have now.
Chief Warrant Officer Sankey says the main goal of all projects within the center is national security.
There is a workforce shortage in signal and cyber type jobs, even beyond the military, beyond the government, and we need to make sure that the United States is fully secured for our future.
Those leaders are working on expanding that cyber curriculum to Richmond County schools next, and then into other surrounding counties. Jenny?
All right, Hannah, thank you very much. Well, this year marks 70 years that WJBF News Channel 6 has been bringing local news to the CSRA. Our Kim Vickers takes a look at how the technology used to bring you the news has changed since 1953.
In the early days of television, it was all live. There was no video recording.
Who would ever have thought that television would have become as important as it is?
Benjamin Singleton with the University of South Carolina says when J.B. Fuqua started WJBF in 1953, they used film to record footage.
So it took planning to get out there, get a news story, get it developed, find the shot that you need, and get it on a projector to go out to the viewers.
Mike Ludwikowski began his career in news in 1973 at WJBF as a film processor.
And the film that you had to use, you physically tore it, taped it back together to make an edit. So once you used a shot, that was it. You've used it.
Lud, as he's affectionately known at WJBF, says the station stayed up to date on the latest technology.
J.B. Fuqua, the man whose initials are still on the station, was a pioneer in technology. He loved reading and acquiring the newest technology.
In the late 70s and early 80s, WJBF moved from using film to videotape. That was used until the early 2000s when everything changed from analog to digital.
The progression from analog to digital and getting away from recording on a moving format and putting it on a memory card has been one of the biggest changes that I've seen. It's sped up everything.
Since the dawn of television, radio frequencies have been used to transmit picture and sound. When former chief engineer Kerry Hale started his career at WJBF in 1973, TV signal transmission looked a lot different than it does today.
When I first got here, it was mostly all over-the-air broadcast. Cable was just in its beginning, so everybody had to have an antenna.
WJBF transitioned fully from analog to digital transmission in 2009. Hale says it was an adjustment.
Every time we got a new piece of equipment, particularly transmitters or things like that, I would go to generally speaking, a lot of the corporations that build this equipment would have training for the engineers.
Our current chief engineer, Matt Johnson, says as long as technology advances, the better able WJBF will be to bring the community quality news.
Technology has really made broadcast television more accessible for people. We're able to go to places that we probably could have never went before.
For a more in-depth look on how the technology used to bring you the news has changed since our station was founded, just head on over to WJBF.com. And that's just part of your hometown history.
A lot of changes in 70 years, that is for sure. For a more in-depth look on how the technology used to bring you the news has changed, you can go to our website, WJBF.com. The Charlie Norwood VA Medical Center on 15th Street in Augusta and some surrounding facilities are experiencing intermittent power outages. The Chief of Public Affairs says generator power is enabling inpatient care. Operating room and the ER have suspended services until power is restored. The downtown phone lines are also not operating at the moment, but the main line is working. The number is 706-733-0188. Children with a common form of muscular dystrophy have new hope thanks to a revolutionary gene therapy. Coming up, we'll take a look at this groundbreaking treatment. A groundbreaking gene therapy is creating life-changing possibilities for children with the most common form of muscular dystrophy. Liz Ortiz has the story of one boy whose life changed because of it.
When Connor Stoll's parents watch him at the playground, they see hope for his future.
He wants to do a lot of things, and we're like, okay, let's do it. Like, you have that chance now.
Connor was 5 when he was diagnosed with Duchenne muscular dystrophy, or DMD, the most common form of the genetic disease that causes progressive loss of muscle mass.
We noticed that he was having difficulty running around. He couldn't quite catch up with his peers.
Within months, he joined a clinical trial and became the first patient to receive a single infusion of a new gene therapy. Developed at Nationwide Children's Hospital, the treatment is designed to fix the mutation and slow the disease's progression.
I have devoted my life to this.
Connor's doctor, Jerry Mendel, saw his first Duchenne patient 50 years ago. He envisions one day using the gene therapy on newborns.
If we can do that very early in the treatment, we can essentially rescue the muscle before it's severely damaged. So the breakthrough in this early group will have profound influence on the field.
5 years after his infusion, Connor's parents say they've seen no regression.
A lot of kids his age are losing ambulation and are in wheelchairs. He can still climb stairs. He can still run at his own speed.
Because the therapy is so new, Connor's parents don't know exactly what the future will bring, but it has already given him a childhood that once seemed impossible.
This gene therapy treatment recently got FDA approval. It's designed to slow the progression. Until the development of gene therapy, most treatments could only address the symptoms. Will cooler temperatures last? Tim Miller answers that question when we come back.
And most trusted, the Live 5 for 6 mobile app. Download it today.
Be the first to know with the Live 5 for 6 mobile app.
The People's Court, weekday mornings at 10 on News Channel 6.